Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Alright.
And Craig.
Alright.
Back to second Craig this week.
No, that's fine.
You going to be alright with that? You're going to go and a half?
I know my place in the hierarchy.
So how you guys doing?
I'm not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, good. Good. Recovered for... I didn't plan to have many drinks on Saturday. And then that game happened and I stayed out for quite a bit longer than I thought. And yeah, got quite drunk. So, aye.
I went home and sat in a hot tub with a couple of other guys.
Who did they support?
Rangers and Hearts.
So you got it tight.
Yeah, but Hearts are shit too, so
Yeah.
I can say to them, like, how can you root me?
What about yourself, Craig? How you doing?
Aye, alright.
What you been up to?
Stock answer as always, work.
Aye.
Got a Chinese on Saturday night after the game.
That cheer you up a bit?
No. Not really.
No. But hey, you were saying in the car along you had the missus along the game. How did she find it?
Well, given that she's actually a Hearts fan, well, say a Hearts fan, her granddad played for Hearts.
Oh, cool.
So she just wanted to come along and see what the fuss was about, but her and Alfie kind of just sat and chatted amongst themselves while I effed and blinded and something happened. I would jump up and shout and I would just kind of catch her at the corner of the eye, absolutely pissing herself laughing at me. So
At least they got some enjoyment out of the game.
I don't think she'll be rushing back anyway, let's just put that way, especially after that. We'll probably get on it, but they can ticket office before the game.
Yeah, you're going for the rant now if you want. You might as well.
Aye, well, so I messaged the fans rep on, it was either Friday night or Saturday morning, saying I want to upgrade my child season ticket to an adult, to let an adult in. Rather than being one of these guys that's just going to go up to the turnstile and scan in anyway. Chances are I probably would have got away with it, but I didn't. I thought, I came out, I'll be the good guy, I'll go and do it the right way. Went to the ticket office, stood at the ticket inquiry window. This is an important bit, right? The ticket inquiry window. Got to the front. Want to upgrade the season ticket for the day for a child to an adult. Alright, we'll do it as a one-off. Alright, well, why is a one-off? Oh, you need to do it the day before the game. Well, I'm not doing it the day before the game. I'm doing it now. I wasn't going to be that guy that name drops that he'd spoken to the fans reps. I was like, no, Kim, I'll just leave it. I was like, is there any particular reason why? Word for word, this is what she said. It's 2:30. We've not got time to be dealing with stuff like this.
At the ticket inquiry window.
At the ticket inquiry window, when I'm inquiring about a ticket.
What can I go doing the day before? I would have to go for Armadale into Edinburgh the day before. Like, that's no practical.
It's ridiculous as well. Like, I think it was like 2 o'clock or something. Was it you were saying in the group chat they stopped dealing with tickets for the Celtic game? Oh, you have to come back tomorrow.
But the ticket collection windows were still open. And then even after, there was something about people, they never advertised that the ticket office was shut after the game. So people went to the ticket office after the game trying to get tickets for the semi-final. Mm-hmm. And the ticket office was shut, pitch blackness, no notices up to say that they were closed or anything, but it seems like that's indicative.
I think there might have, it says they're open till 5:30, but then somebody went at like just before 5 and it was shut. I think some folk said
there was nobody there.
I think they need to take, I'm sure that the people in the ticket office are looking at it from the other side. They probably have a really tough job. They probably get a lot of abuse which they don't deserve.
Would be stressful
job, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think there has to be consideration for not everybody lives in Edinburgh. Not everybody can easily come back on Monday. People work. A majority of people work Monday to Friday 9 till 5. So that was the best opportunity to probably get the tickets. It made sense to get the tickets for Saturday then. So yeah, and then obviously for things like that, like
even though it was something the club got £11 out of me.
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't understand what the issue is. It's not. It's the way that I was told that we've not got the time to be dealing with this, and I wasn't going to stand there and argue the point and be like, well, what have you got time for? But it was just the general lack of service, and it only seems to be tolerated with football clubs. If you got spoken to in Sainsbury's or McDonald's or somewhere like that, you wouldn't go back. But unfortunately us mugs do.
Different customers. But on a brighter note, it's Sozie's birthday. Happy birthday, Frank Sozie. Yeah, it's 54 or something. You thought it was.
Was it no yesterday? Was it today?
I thought it was today.
Might be the day. The day's been a long day. I read something. I thought it was yesterday.
Right.
Who cares?
What's your favourite memory of Frank Sozie?
Celebration. The one where he runs and his knees up to his chest and he's running right down the path. That's mine.
Craig?
So that's 6-2 game?
Yeah.
There's a couple. I remember his debut actually. His debut was away at Brockville. The season we were coming up. So there's a couple. There's that, looking at this big, elegant midfielder thinking, who's he? My granddad, this guy won the European Cup. Alright, that means nothing to me as a 7-year-old. The free kick against Falkirk last game of the season when we came up.
Was that the low one?
No, that was the one where it just went like an arrow. It just and then there's the one, obviously I think my favourite is the Tynecastle one.
Aye, that was still mine.
Where he just, but it's the way that he just scores and then just turns, jogs back and then just like...
It's the complete opposite of Adebayor. You know, Adebayor ran the length of the pitch to celebrate in front of Arsenal fans when he scored for Man City. Soze runs the length of the pitch and he's like, he's not celebrating that much, wonder why. Head down, and then it's just he starts getting closer and closer to the Hibs fans, and then
smile.
Just the big smile and the arms start going, and it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
There was a game as well where he scored, we beat Hearts 3-1 at Easter Road, and he lost 3 front teeth. It was a header.
Yeah.
Scored and then he got up, got his mouth patched up, put a bit of tissue in, and was just...
Aye.
I know, what a guy.
Brilliant. And I mean, still don't know all the details about what kind of... It was a shame that he's not involved in the club in some way or out doing half-time season ticket draws or something like that. It's a shame that things worked out the way they did. But
for someone that was at the club, like I said, for such a short space of time as well, he effectively had two full seasons of playing. But it just shows you how good he was, that he's sort of revered in the way. Yeah, the way that's, and the fact that
one of the greatest of all times, and probably it's hard to argue in terms of my lifetime. 29 years, probably the greatest we've had in that time. Hard to argue against it. Anyway, happy birthday, Frank. And a midfielder who could be returning to the team soon is Slivka, who's resumed full training. Does Slivka get back in the team once fit for you guys, and who does he push out?
I'd put him back in purely because the players are not performing. We're sitting 11th. So he needs to get a chance, in my opinion. And Vela pushes out Vela.
Craig,
I think can we really do much worse? I mean, this is now his third full season. You could argue the case in the first season about McGinn and McGeoch, hard to displace them.
Scott Allen in the second half of the season.
Then last season, I know he was a regular. I mean, he started 50% of the games in the league, but did he really stamp his authority in the team?
There was an opportunity there when those 3 left to be like, right, I'll take over this midfield, and you have to kind of say probably didn't.
I can't really ever remember a standout performance from the volley at Ibrox, the header against Celtic.
That was a cool celebration.
Yeah. Oh, the face
that was cool.
But cool. What else has he actually done? But I don't want to sound negative, but it's just, I think he's been here for, like I say, 2.5 years, and he's never really made a massive impact. But he couldn't really do much worse than.
If he's not in contract anymore, like after this season, like go out and tell him, but like, right, you want to be here.
Yeah,
he's only going to go down for Hibs. I would imagine like he's going to get a bigger move now, like especially if he's not been playing.
So it's a big few months for him.
I mean, definitely.
Contract's up at the end of the season, like you sort of say. So I think he really has to kind of try and either earn a new deal, or if he's not going to sign one, impress elsewhere. And as much as you don't want to see players moving on if they're doing well for you, that's good if he is doing well in those sort of next 6 months.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
And away from football, Josh Taylor, the big Hibby, has beat. We'll get this name right. Is it Regis Progress?
Regis Progress.
There you go. He beat him on points, and he's now the unified IBF and WA super lightweight champion, and there's also been talk of him unifying the championships, so the other two up for grabs. 29-year-old Hibby is undefeated in 16 games, and after it he hinted of
16 games.
Just keep it, it's fine. You made a mistake, deal with it, move
16
on.
16 bouts, sorry. I can't even blame my handwriting. It clearly says bouts. I'm just I'm too football focused. That's what it is. And he hinted at a dream. I said, is match the right word? This is how big a boxing fan I am.
Dream bout.
A dream
fight
at Easter Road. A dream fight. That's it. A dream fight at Easter Road. Could you see that happen?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like that.
All the jokes.
I didn't even really like boxing that much, but I watch like all the kind of the bigger fights. I'm one of them. A wee bit of Glory Hunter come out for the heavyweights, but that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it?
The atmosphere would be incredible. There was what's his name? Josh Warrington fought a couple of years ago at Ellen Road. Big Leeds United fan, and the atmosphere that night was unreal. Bellew a couple of years ago as well, when he fought at Goodison. Atmosphere was unbelievable.
You'd sell it out because you didn't get that type of thing up here.
No, even if it was at the castle as well, it would still. I mean, a couple of years ago, Brad Welsh done the amateur like the amateur showcase down at the old grandstand in Princess Street Gardens, and even that drew a pretty decent crowd. So there's you've got another location there, but a fight like that at Easter Road or Edinburgh Castle would be unbelievable.
Yeah,
100% would go to that, even though I'm like you, I only turn out for the big ones.
And you've seen all the jokes off the back of that on social media of, we may actually win something at Easter, or we get a home win at Easter Road. Okay, so Ross County, we kind of said we weren't pleased with an intro and stuff, so we're going to start with the positives to try and bring things up a bit. Halberg can hit a free kick. We were no reliant on Malin with free kicks.
But didn't they go in?
Yep. The room 1902 for last week. Oh, I can hit did it go in? No.
It was a great free kick though.
It couldn't be that great if it didn't go in.
It was a decent effort. I was surprised because when Halberg was hitting it. But good hit.
And you know, we've moaned about not creating clear-cut chances in the last few weeks. We started creating chances. Scott Allen played one through to Flo, but it was a bit of a tight angle. Newell played one to Allen. Flo slipped through Naismith. I think he cut it back to Vela, just wide. So we were creating chances, which is good to see.
And what half?
The first half.
No.
Why are you shaking your head? We created these chances.
Half. They were half. Very, very half chances. I'm not being negative. The first half was dire.
Craig, were you impressed with the chances we were at least creating? Or were they not clear cut enough for you to get excited?
I thought the one for Naismith probably should have done better. Like the ball that was.
Aye, that was definitely
the Newell one. The Newell one where Newell crossed for deep. That was maybe could have done better with that. The Canberry one where I think he's maybe just a couple of yards out and he hits it at Laidlaw. Why are we? That's another why are we trying to put things in the box with somebody like Laidlaw when he's shown in the past that he can't deal with shots for distance? Why? Where's the? He's a former teammate. Surely the players like Canberry, Scott Allen should know what he's like and where his weaknesses is. And his weaknesses, as you can see, for Scott Allen's goal, because I don't think Scott Allen's goal was that far in the corner, but he's hit it on the run, and it's went in. So it's just another thing. No really clear cut enough for me, to be honest. And
in the second half, we went. Horgan came on at half time and had an immediate impact, putting us 1-0 in front. Ball through. I think it was Vela that played the ball through. I tried
Naismith.
to look. Was it Naismith?
Yeah,
was it Naismith? Because I thought I saw 21 over. I was trying to look at it, but was it Naismith?
No, it was definitely Naismith, and it was a good ball.
Aye, it was a great ball.
Perfectly weighted.
We clipped
and behind,
and the first time Horgan's ran away for a fullback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his first touch was decent too, because it turned him in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen him. Mind that I keep coming back to this, but away to Motherwell that time, where his first touch took him away out left, and he tried to lob the keeper and put it wide.
Yeah,
this was his first touch was like more positive.
Yeah, straight towards goal.
Aye, right in, aye.
And Scott, you talked about earlier, Scott Allen made it too. Bit of space and good shot and good goal. Now Flo should have made it 3. Now I mean, Flo didn't have a good game. Like he had an opportunity to take his chance. I'll argue the fact that he probably had an influence in the first 2 goals. I think it's Fontaine both times. Well, Horgan's goal has dragged him forward, which creates the space in behind for Horgan. Second one, he's dragged Fontaine over, and then that's created the space. But that's good doing that off the ball, and it's good that he can still offer something. But he did not have a good game on the ball, did he? No,
he was too busy arsing about doing flicks and back heels and chops inside. And like if you're 3-0 up and you're sitting 3rd, 4th in the league and you're playing well, that stuff comes off because it gets the kind of can the crowd give a wee bit of the Ollie shouts. When you're 11th and you're struggling and you're trying to see games out, or even when you're trying to get the goal, I mean, he's doing it at like 0-0, 1-0. Like what?
My only
it's like he's trying to fashion confidence for himself for something like that to come off.
I said to you at the time, right? The first one he tried, I was like, no, fair enough. If that came off, it would have been good. And I'm moaning about wanting entertained. Like, so he's going to try something, or otherwise, what's the point? It's just boring. He could just passed it back or not. But he tried a flick. It was the second time he tried it. Later on in the game, I was like, come on, you just tried that like 10 minutes ago. It didn't work off. Maybe like then you go, right, I've tried it. I'll just do something a bit simpler here. But he is that type of player though. Like he's got that arrogance about him that he thinks he's Ronaldo. Like can do all his wee flicks and that. He does, doesn't he?
Mhm.
He's like got that vibe about it. But
Would Ronaldo have had a fresh air shot like
no, probably not. To be fair, when was the last time he played? Like to be in that situation, he's probably just desperate and tried to hammer it rather than just take his time.
that? Well, was it if Doige is fit? Do you see the manager putting Doige back in after that game, or do you think Canberra's done enough to keep his place?
I think it's time to give Shaw a chance.
I'd just play two up
Like-
top. I'm just like I would. I know, like you're laughing that.
No,
I know
it's
you're
just-
saying
it's
hardly any teams in the league play
Aye.
it, but if both have struggled up front themselves,
got to try something different.
aye, play the two of them.
3-5-2, 3-5-2.
Yeah, why not? Like,
Well, we got that at the end of the game, though.
Aye, we
It
fucking
was
conceded.
maybe more of a 5-4-1, but it was.
yep.
Aye. We've eventually got the back five. So on the negatives, the 2 goals. I mean, starting with Brian Graham's. What was your kind of thoughts on that one?
That's like I said to you in the car on the way through. I knew before he left his foot it was in. Before
Peach.
when he's turned to when he turned, I was like right behind it as well. When he's turned to hit that, I turned and I went some finish. Just knew.
The peach.
And the fact that Porteous is 5 yards off him, you could probably give Brian Graham that chance another 50 times and he wouldn't do it. Like given the fact that he missed an absolute sitter a couple of minutes after it, but he should never have been given the time to get the ball in and turn as much as he did. That one's solely on Porteous for me.
What is it with that part of the pitch where us letting people have time and space? It was the same against Hearts. Like it was kind of right in front of us that Nadi's doing these stupid step overs and we're just standing and watching. And then the ball goes in and then Hickey scores because half-arsed effort to block.
Happened on the other side with Stevenson sort of stepping off, and then the cross he's managed to get in.
Yeah.
Is if it's happening all across the defence, is that an instruction from the manager to stand off?
Possibly, but a player should know that you can't let a striker turn and have a shot at goal. Like Porteous should never been that far off. And Porteous doesn't stand off any other time, so why would they have done it this time? I just think it was a lapse concentration, like for that second.
And the second one, it comes and I think it's Fraser Murray tries to clear it, doesn't get a strong head on it, falls to the Ross County player who plays it to the boy that scores, can't remember his name. Chalmers, that was it. And Chalmers hits it, and Vela's been under a bit of criticism for turning away. What was your thoughts on that?
Absolute shite bag.
He shot it, he turned his back.
It's twice he's done it now. Done it against Hearts. Done it there. Like there's never one thing, you never turn your back on the ball. Like you should never, if you're feared about getting hit, what are you doing? Like he just seems to be one player that just hides. He hides behind centre halves. He sort of hides behind central midfielders to avoid getting the ball. And I mean there was a spell in the second half for about 10 minutes where he actually looked alright. The second goal comes for him pressing high up the park and winning the ball back and it eventually makes its way to Scott Allen. But that was like, as soon as he done that, he then hid. And I think I was looking at the Y Scout thing last night. He maybe made about 13 passes, 14 passes in 90 minutes.
I know.
90 minutes. He's touching the ball once every what would that even work out if he's playing the full 90?
Not bad at maths.
Every 7 minutes?
7 or 8 minutes.
Like, that's ridiculous. But what I also noticed for the stats as well, that there was 43 minutes of dead time.
Aye, I noticed that as well. That is going to be like, that's how scrappy and
43. No wonder we are bored out our tits, by the way, if there's almost a full half of the ball just doing nothing.
But the teams will probably know that we'll get restless in that. So if they're like, right, go Easter Road, make sure nothing happens, make sure it's dead and boring and fans will go on their back, and then I will be able to get back into this neighbour.
It was in the papers today. Former Hibs striker Brian Graham has claimed the capital side's horrendous form has turned Easter Road into a morgue.
Yeah, I would agree, it is. But also, Ken, what else has turned into a morgue? That singing section been up at that back corner. Barely heard them all game. And then Callum in our group chat was saying that the singing section were brilliant, but obviously because of where he sits in the stadium, you can't hear them from where we are. They could be singing. Fair play to them if they are. I couldn't hear anything.
I hear the drum.
Right.
I can't make out because I'm at section 38. Can't make out the whatever the noise is, the song that's like, I can tell the beat of the drum, but I tell you what, it was.
To be fair to them as well,
they're trying.
They're trying, and to be fair to them as well, their numbers are a lot smaller than they were the last season and the season before.
Because Ken, why nobody wants to sit up there. Folk have came back from that section and went to the east. Just put them back in the east. See the east as a body in the stadium. It's the biggest part of the stadium, and with the fans been split with the second tier. Put them back in there.
Get them behind the goals. Famous five lower, right behind the goals. This is where Ron Gordon's American, right? All these franchises that are springing up out of nowhere in America. Atlanta United. What's the new LA one? Is it just like Los Angeles FC or something?
Right.
And against the Galaxy. All of these clubs that are starting up for nothing, they're getting built with designated ultra sections. So these areas in America, where football's probably the third or fourth biggest sport anyway, behind like baseball, American football and all that, but they're getting dedicated sections for ultras to help grow the support and grow the atmosphere. And you see everybody talking these days about how good it is in America. It's a day out. They go, folk leaving the house at 10 o'clock in the morning, game kicks off at 3, they're not coming back till 6 at night, 7 at night, because there's things going on, and there's things like that where they're building designated areas for fans to go. Like I'm sure, is it maybe Orlando City designated flare section?
That's class.
That's counter argument to that though. I mean, there's been a bit of fuss about the fact that was the family section, and so there's been families who their kids have turned 18. And they're like, you can't sit here anymore because your kid's 18. And like, we've sat in that seat for like 16 years.
Doesn't matter where did they sit before the stand was built?
I also got to agree with that. People need to understand it's a family section. It is cheaper on that. You can sit there while you've got a family. If no, then you need to move. See, if you want to keep your seat and that be your seat, go and sit somewhere else with your family. Like you can sit in other places in the stadium with your family. You do it.
Aye, I sat in the famous 5 up for 20 years. Now I'm in the east.
Yeah.
Like you have to. This is the one. Oh, that's my seat. Well, it's no. It's Hibs' seat.
I get why people get attached to this where they sit
because it's memories and all that. But at the same time, that section's half empty every week anyway.
No, it's brutal.
And like somebody like me, so with me with 2 kids, I've had to get a season ticket in the east because like that whole section is filled, is taken up. But I then at the start of next season, I can't move to that section. And it's all the older. Well, see, I'm not going to alienate fans for this, like areas of the support, but it does seem to be older people in that section who are determined not to give up their seat for fear of it being theirs. And I appreciate that Dempster's already had to hassle folk by moving them from where to put the singing section where they are just now. But I just think it would lead to we're wanting kids, teenagers to be excited about going to the football. My 9-year-old was bored out of his brains on Saturday. There's no atmosphere, there's no excitement, there's no nothing. If I could take him down to that section and let him bounce about for 90 minutes, he'd love it. He'd want to come back even more.
Brian Graham's right, it's deed.
Yeah. Aye, sorry, a bit of a long...
We went off on a tangent. The only thing we didn't mention, and this is another wee bit of tangent, but just a wee tiny one. Portland Timbers in America with their big chainsaw with a big block of wood. Cool. It's so cool. We should definitely get somebody doing something dangerous behind the goals. A seagull.
Take the heat off a seagull.
We could take the heat off seagulls. You're going to get like seagull activists.
Can we not have like some sort of like small like boat that goes along or something? Something to do with Leith and the docks.
The ship, just somebody carrying the ship.
With harp. Something like that. Get on it, Hibs.
Right, back to the Ross County game then. The substitutions. So Horgan came on at half time, obviously effective, scored his goal. Taking off Halberg though, who we've complimented for doing a good role in front of the defence. Was that the right decision to take him off?
Was injured?
Apparently not. I don't know.
He was booked. But
he was also our most accurate passer. He only missed 25 passes he made in the first half. He misplaced 1.
Wow, it's brilliant.
So I can only assume it must have been injury wise.
So he's made 25 passes in 45 minutes, and Vela made 14 in 90.
Something like that.
13,
I think it was.
Wow. So I mean, I wanted to bring this up. I mean, I think Malin is a good talent. He's definitely a good player. We've seen that last season. we've spoke in the past, we've done a whole sort of main topic on an episode whether he's played out of position, played too deep. In Hecky's mind, is Malin undroppable at the moment? Because, I mean, the Kilmarnock game sticks out to me. He started in the middle, and then they took Middleton off, and Malin went out wide, and then they brought a winger on, and Malin went back to the middle. So he's played, he's moved twice and stayed in the park for 120 minutes. This game, he's out on the right. We're wanting to bring on a right winger, and we took off central midfielder and moved Malin back to accommodate Malin.
Sorry, I was miles off with Vela with the passes, by the way. Just want to correct that.
Were you?
Miles away.
Apologies, Vela.
Aye. 32 passes.
Oh, never
20,
mind.
23 were accurate.
I'm the dyslexic one. Come on, that's what I can get away with that. Dave, your thoughts on Malin there?
At the end of the day, he can have a pop for anywhere, and you've seen it twice this season.
But we're trying to play him defensive midfield.
I know, but when he's still in the park, it's we're not scoring any other way.
But we're trying to protect a defence with him in front of the defence, and that's not working.
Yeah, I know that. He probably will be an element he's undroppable, but you're asking me to go into Heckingbottom's mind. How do you do that?
I mean, do you feel confident when Malin and Vela are the two midfielders sitting in front of the defence? Do you feel your defence is protected when you see that?
No, but but I wouldn't play Vela. I think Vela's probably mainly the one that should have been substituted at the weekend over Halberg. But like I said, I don't know if the booking came into play, and I don't know if he was injured.
I'm not anything. You've said something. A Bolton fan that gave their view on Vela.
Aye. Well, I don't know him, but I've read stuff online and basically said that he's a. Oh no, sorry. You're right. A guy, I can't remember where it came from, but a fellow Hibs fan is pals with somebody who's pals with Vela.
One of them.
Aye. Manties, Doug's, grannies, uncles, blah blah blah. And says he is a total confidence player.
Right.
And that if the team are flying, he's flying. If the team are struggling, he's struggling. To go back to the Malin point, it's like they're trying to just make McGeoch out of him by playing him in defensive mid, central mid, because there's no doubt, and he's got the passing range. He's a great passer of the ball, but he's ineffective when it comes to winning the ball back.
I think we've seen that long passing and passing them behind from deep. I think we've seen that less and less from him, and I don't know if that's an instruction or whether that's a confidence thing because we're not doing well. But he was, a lot of times last season, and even a couple of pre-season friendly games, he was pinging balls in behind and the wingers were running onto it. I've not seen that from him playing deep recently.
No, but then he's also lining up right midfield on Saturday, and yet when you look at the graph where he actually spent the majority of his time, he was more central than Vela, and most of Ross County's attacks came down the left hand side.
Yeah,
he's going to play central when Boyle's back. He is, unless Boyle plays as a second striker, which I think we might end up trying to do something like that.
So we're finally get two up top, with Boyle up top.
Yeah, but I don't want Boyle up top. It's a waste. I find it a complete waste. He's so good on the right. So wait and see. So
final thoughts on the Ross County game, just to finish off then.
Incredibly boring, and then it livened up a bit, and I actually thought we were doing alright. Canberra should have made it 3. Kind of sums it up. And then didn't he? And then as soon as it went to 2-1, the whole place went absolutely toxic.
What's your views on people that have been criticising the Hibs support for how it went kind of toxic at 2-1? I think because you I've heard you say you've seen it from both sides.
I do see it from both sides. I think anybody that says that it's not the Hibs fans' fault, but anybody that's saying that booing doesn't have an effect on the players, because we're booing at 2-1. At that point, I've seen it at the past at Easter Road, you maybe get behind the team, the singing sections are still singing away, and then it's kind of like come on,
it's
like that.
Third.
Whereas that was just negative as anything, and it didn't help that Brian Graham only scored about 10 seconds after the kickoff.
Yeah.
So that just...
He should have scored.
I know he should have, free header. But that put the shiters up everybody, and it just made it feel... But I think it's all context. At the end of the day, we're 11th in the league. It's not acceptable. So see that at the end, when it went to 2 each and everybody's chanting, heck, you get to fuck. I sang it. That emotions in the second, and I meant it. Like, and I booed. I done all of that, but I can see why people think that that's wrong, because at the end of the day, it is negative and it won't help. But context.
Your thoughts on that?
It just feeds into everything else. So, like you say, there is times, like when you think in the past, when if we've conceded a goal, there's been almost an encouraging roar, as if they say, right, come up, okay, we're 1-0 down, so what, let's go, let's get a goal back. Whereas on Saturday there was almost a meek acceptance, like, fuck, here we go.
We knew it was coming.
Aye.
And that maybe doesn't help the players, because they maybe feel that coming onto the park, but they need to get out of that. That's not their jobs. Like, that is literally their job. They're a football team. They're a team of players that are meant to be like, right, come on, give us something in the stand to be positive about. Except they're doing the exact opposite. And I think anybody, I've always been big on anybody, as long as it didn't go over the score and it's no like abusive, that can have their opinion when they're paying their money to watch it.
Right, well, on that, what you kind of make the argument? There's the argument of, we're, take the term supporters literally. We're supporters, we're there to support.
Customers.
Or are we more sort of, paying customers and we're allowed to voice our concerns if things aren't going well?
The now I feel like Hibs is very, we are customers. Like, they just want money.
But as a customer, you're allowed to vent when things aren't going your way, so it does work in our favour if we're not happy.
But if somebody wasn't packing your shop in the way that you should, you wouldn't stand and boo them. At the end of the day, football clubs are run like businesses. Sorry, not run. They are businesses. They're the same as your average plumber, your Sparky, your convenience store down the road. They're businesses. It's just us that have the emotional attachment to it because it's a family thing. Do you know, that's where it mostly comes from. Your granddad, your great granddad, your granddad, your dad. You all support them, so it all trickles down through the generations, and we are ultimately, at the end of the day, customers. It's just an emotional attachment that we have to something. In terms of the sort of the booing side of things, I booed. I didn't sing hecky hecky get to fuck, but when I got to the bottom of the stairs, I screamed. It was a fucking embarrassment, and kind of got a bit of a red face when I looked round and everybody was just looking back at me for the stairs as I done it. But it's like you say, it's in the moment, it's heat. I went on Twitter right after the game, see what fuck are saying. Hibs are putting out something, so I immediately replied, "Get him to fuck." I didn't mean that against Heckenbottom as an individual. Like you say, I think some of the personal...
Yeah, I don't like personal abuse.
The personal abuse is going too far.
Yeah.
It's all fine and well saying someone like Vela is... Like, it was shite-bag behaviour what he done turning his back, but then you get people saying him, Malin, chicken-hearted. Like, that's no fair. They're, at the end of the day, these are just guys who are ultimately not cut out for the role that we need them to do.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Malin. I mean, came through, like I said before, he came through as a left winger at St Mirren, cutting in on his right foot, scoring goals for distance. He's played attacking midfield and stuff, and came to Hibs and we're like, oh no, we need you to be our new Dylan McGeoch, and we're going to force you into that role. And Lennon sort of persisted with it, and I thought it was maybe going to go somewhere, but we're 2 seasons later, and he's still not got the defensive abilities to play that role, I don't think. But anyway, we could chat about that for loads. So yeah, just sort of, we may as well just quickly do the Livingston game just now, because I mean we'll quickly go into that. So how are you feeling ahead of that game after the Ross County game?
Unfortunately, not that confident.
Livingston, who for 40 minutes were down to 10 men against Hearts and seen out a 0-0.
I'm more confident than what I would be if it was at Livi.
Yeah,
because it's at Easter Road, I feel a bit... Like I said last week, I thought, the points that I made, I tried to put a coherent way of putting my points together across, and I thought... So in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking a part of that plays in that we could get a win on Wednesday, but I'm nowhere near as sort of supportive as I was this time last week.
But we're still picking up points, Craig.
Well, that's the thing. I said that to Gav in the car, like some of the questions that I've got coming up maybe, why is he still here? Because he's not been sacked. Because we're not losing games. It is absolutely horrendous that we have now dropped 13 points from a winning position. We've not gained any points from a losing position. But he's not losing games. As I put out on Instagram this week, we would be third in the league if we'd kept on to that.
Yeah, but we didn't.
Hashtag follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, talk. we're 1 point off the bottom of the league.
Aye.
But we're not. But that's the thing. But we are not losing games. That's That's the point that I tried to make.
Honestly, would rather just fucking lose some of them rather than this boring fucking draw. Just go and do what Stubbs used to do. I know you didn't like Stubbs. Well, I know that you don't like him, but I know that your opinion on Stubbs is you didn't want him back. I want him back. I liked the fact that we could go out and just get beat off Dumbarton one week and then
and even if we did get beat, we'd probably still score 3 goals and get beat 4-3.
Aye, it was.
But we spent 2 straight years in the Championship,
and it was the best years ever. Right? That's the only good thing about getting relegated. We might win some games next year.
But we could go into that for ages. We could, because in my opinion, Hearts were prepared for the Championship. We weren't. That's why they went up ahead of Rangers.
Because what with that pig
Rangers
arrogance?
had the money. That's why they went up.
Have we got that arrogance issue?
They never had the money the season before when Hearts went up. So that argument's a load of shite in my opinion.
Have we got that arrogance
Hearts
issue?
Were ready to go up and Rangers didn't.
Just when you're finished.
Sorry, on you go.
Have you got that? If we're going to have that arrogance issue, not be prepared for Championship. We could go down. We are that bad.
Really, you really starting to think that?
No, I don't. Not starting to think. I've thought it for a couple of weeks now. We can't be that arrogant. That's you fall into that trap.
Like I said last
too
week,
good to go down. You're not too good to go down. No. It was good. We're where we are because we're rubbish.
Quickly on Livi, ahead of the game then to round us off. London Donovan. What am I on about? I'm having a mare.
You're struggling this week.
Lyndon Dykes, is that right? Aye. Lyndon Dykes. He missed the Hearts game through injury. They're hoping to get him back, but it's still hit or miss. He's quite a danger linked with Scotland, Australia, trying to get him. That's his preference, so obviously that. But more importantly than that, what sort of reception is Marvin Bartley going to get?
An amazing one, hopefully, and I would not genuinely put it fucking past him to score.
His first goal.
Aye, his first goal in Scottish football against Hibs. Funny you mentioned that. Fontaine never really got.
I know, I was quite surprised.
Much of a. But I think that just plays into the general. I think if he'd have got subbed off, he would have got a good. He would have got a good reaction.
Even I think he would have probably got clapped at the end as well if we had won. If he had went towards his own supporters, he would have.
But he probably would have even came.
I would have wandered there towards.
And if he had a song, probably would have sung it and stuff. But he has his own song, which but I don't think Hibs fans will be singing that. But I fully expect Marvin Bartley's song to be sung at least once on Wednesday night.
Only thing about that is he's not a player anymore.
I know.
But it's Marvin Bartley though.
Nah, but it's a bit. Nah.
I don't know.
See Hibs got ripped on the terrace for the John McGinn tweet, but and then they were like, but he's not even like a Hibs player, and it really annoys that Joe Skid. Good.
It's quite funny that there's a boy in my work that he says that Hibs fans are like the most delusional, worst kind of set of fans on social media, and I'm always getting a bite out of him about John McGinn because he's not your player anymore, get a rest and blah blah blah.
They're just jealous they didn't help produce such wonderful things.
See, it's times like this, like I miss him so much.
He's absolutely brilliant. There's a Twitter account to follow if you haven't already. It's no context John McGinn. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So check that out. So we're gonna do your guys' questions now. So there's a lot of questions this week, so we're gonna fire through them quite quick fire. And if a question's quite similar, we'll just sort of say we've had a similar question and we'll fire through. So starting with Lawrence has asked, when's the manager getting sacked? Will results change? Not showing many clues that will change.
At the international break coming up in November, if there is anything going to happen, I think it'll be then.
Right. Craig?
If we find ourselves bottom of the league on Wednesday, is that possible? Aye, St Johnstone won, so we could find ourselves.
Beat Hearts. Us and Hearts will be joint bottom of the league.
Aye, so I think.
And
then if we get a doing off of Celtic, I think that'll be cuttings for him.
Quite a few questions on Ron Gordon. Where's Ron Gordon? That one's from COD, but it'll come up again, no doubt. But
probably in America, in his house.
No, he's here because they're having a board meeting. They're having
tomorrow.
A board meeting tomorrow, and Kieran on Power, the fans rep on Twitter, said that he was going to be at it, so he'll be in Edinburgh somewhere. But aye.
Fair play, by the way, to it was Kieran that you'd reached out to the fans rep. Fair play him, he's done a good job with that, and I have to say I think he's done I think there's a lot of times where he's associated with the clubs. That's an outlet for people to moan about the club, and he gets a lot of slack I don't think he deserves. I think he's doing a really good job.
Why moan at them?
Aye.
That's so pointless.
So Williams asked, can we restart the season? And Grant's asked, do you think it's Heckham's bottom tactics that are the problems, or the players' attitude on the pitch, or is it a bit of both?
Bit of both, I think. Like I said last week, you can't like I made the point about Doidge. Heckingbottom can't legislate for Doidge putting himself in a position to score 4 times and making a complete arse of it. Just like Saturday, he can't affect Josh Vela completely turning his back.
Yeah.
Now he needs to obviously start dropping them for doing stuff like that, but he can't affect that sort of thing happening on the pitch.
2 long range shots too, so.
Michael has asked, I think Heckingbottom subs were wrong. Saturday asked you about this already, but he said that his views were he should have put Vela on. He should have taken Vela off and put Murray on his place, then Middleton for Newell instead of Murray on the wing. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, he brought Horgan on and Horgan scored.
But he's brought on Murray, who's definitely no left wing, and put like when you've got a left winger on the bench.
I thought he looked like he was torn when he came on.
To be fair to him, he's not been getting games in the development games, and then he's not been getting minutes to the first team, so he's going to be lacking match sharpness.
That was the wrong situation to put Fraser Murray into.
Yeah, definitely.
When a lot of people have been clamouring for him to get game time as well.
So again, sort of similar question: when you think the board relaxed, looking at the league table, that's from the Saint Disco, and do the players need to be held accountable as well as Heckingbottom? That's from Oliver.
100%, 100%. The players are getting away with far too much, in my opinion, with the amount of anger that's been directed at the. Like I said last week, the blame culture. It's getting aimed at the manager. It's getting aimed at Leanne Dempster. It's getting aimed at Ron Gordon. It's getting aimed everywhere. The players are getting a bit of a hard time, but ultimately they're the ones that are going out on the park and not delivering the goods.
Why are we so lightweight? That's from Mako Ewan.
We've got lightweight players that didn't seem to get stuck in. I don't know. That one's just
didn't need to be tall. Look, John McGinn and Dylan McGeer could have maybe 5'8", 5'9". You didn't need to be tall to stick in.
Nick's asked, if the club don't take action, do you feel the fans' reps should resign as they're not representing the fans' views?
No.
But I didn't understand that. Why? So wait, repeat the question.
So if the club don't take action, do you feel the fans' reps resigning would make a decent statement of our displeasure with the direction the club are heading in?
I know what he means, but I don't think it would work.
Why is behind the goal so poor to wait 20 minutes on a drink? It's potentially no imitation, but it needs to improve. The experience could be a goldmine if it was.
Feeds into what I said earlier about the overall experience. Like when we go to behind the goals, it's just, I mean, again, the pints are shite. the atmosphere is rubbish. You've got tellies broken. You've got adverts across. You want to maybe go in and watch the 12:30 kick-off? There's adverts taking up half the broken telly screen.
On BT, you're not getting it.
You've got uneven tables that are no match. You've got old chairs that have been pulled for other hospitality. It's just...
It's just like this gummiest. Like, I just hope that's something that they look at, because at the end of the day, that's part of the match day experience. It's like you say, you want folk to come in.
Years ago, it used to be class. They used to have PlayStations in the corner for the bairns. They had constant hot food. You could get pie, curry, chips... pie, chips and beans and everything. Now it's what you got, a packet of crisps for £3 and a plastic tumbler of warm lager.
They had the portable bar that worked. So it
helped, but only got one on
cash only.
It's only had it on one side, and she was standing there really quiet. I pointed out though, she has to be like over here for a second, shouting on everybody, but that's a hard thing to do when you're in that.
Needs updated, simple as that.
And so on sort of Ron Gordon again, James has asked, are the club focusing on too much non-footballing activities rather than getting the football side sorted first?
Well, we've just basically said we want the behind the goals done up.
But like that's the thing, all these, where's Ron Gordon, what's Ron Gordon doing? Like, ultimately, regardless of how we feel emotionally about Hibs now effectively belongs to him. It's his business. And there's going to be an AGM coming up soon where the fans are going to have the chance to ask Ron Gordon, ask Leanne Dempster where the club is, what are the plans for the club moving forward. You hear Graham Matthews speaking last week about the plans where we want to go, and he even acknowledged the plan that we put in place. Have we achieved it? No, we haven't. And he also made the point that in the last 40-50 years we've only had consecutive back-to-back top 4 finishes maybe 4 or 5 times.
That's crazy.
But it also makes me annoyed because he's always like, so it's fine, it's fine. We're shit, but we were good a couple of years ago. That's Hibs, get used to it. And I know we support somebody else if you want success every year, but don't just go because we're rubbish. Then now just be like,
this is the norm.
This is norm. What are you talking about?
At time there has to be, at time the norm has to be challenged and changed.
When are you ever going to try and progress? Is like a club in that. And I quite like the idea of Ron Gordon coming back and doing the AGM. He's not been about in ages, and it being like that Kevin Bridges sketch, like where Hibs have just had a big empty, and he's like the parents, and he comes back and he's like, what the fuck are you done here?
No, there's a my point's away.
Sorry. Just so Sandra's asked, do you think the new owner will kind of step in anytime soon?
He's not made the money that he's done by making daft decisions. So this guy that he's got, is it Archie Payton?
I think so.
The guy that was the media or the marketing executive that worked with Man City.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing? What's his remit? That's what I mean. Like the AGM's the place to ask these questions.
Aye. Another one on Ron Gordon from Andrew, and then Collins asked, which Dave you talked about earlier, do you think we could be in the Championship next season? Dave, you've started to think that might be a possibility. Craig, are you there yet? Are you still no? Still don't think it'll happen.
Don't think so. No.
Don't think so. That's
no, but
different from last week.
I don't actually think we will either. I'm not saying I think we will go down.
Last week you thought it was ludicrous.
I do. I don't think there's a chance.
Now you're at don't think so.
Well, I don't think there's a chance. Like there's a difference between saying absolutely not and saying that you don't. I never thought we'd get relegated when Butcher took over, and then look what happened.
We're over a quarter away through the season, and we're 11th with a second worst goal difference in the league.
So we're Kelly at the point where Steve Clark took over, and look where they ended up.
So does that mean we're
something going to come over?
And not forget, when Steve Clark took them over, we beat them 3-0 at Rugby Park, and we admittedly could have got pumped that night and had no complaints.
Going to invest in a seat in here, Gav.
Okay.
My arse is like splinters, man. I've said it for years. I need to get myself a podcast seat.
Splinters in a plastic seat, aye.
No, it's got the tiniest bit of padding in it, but I think I've unpadded it.
We've just got on the casting couch.
We'll get you cushions. So Keith's asked, is 2 points against Hamilton and Ross County going to save second bottom? So obviously you spoke about the fact that aren't getting beat. Is that helping them?
It shouldn't, but it is. Like,
oh, didn't give me that.
It shouldn't be helping. It shouldn't be helping, but it is. So it's what's keeping them in a job is the fact that I believe that we're not losing games.
So if we'd been beaten by Hamilton and we'd been beaten by Ross County, would he still be in charge?
I think he would have been given his jotters by now.
We'd have got beat off Ross County if there was 5 minutes of that game left. We were a mess.
Yeah. Why did Brian Graham change the game so much?
They changed their tactics. They started lumping the ball up to him, and it put us under pressure. Fans didn't like that pressure, got on the back. There you go.
And the same question, he said there's clearly no leadership on the park, and Porteous for captain, the guy who gave him too much space for the goal.
Nah, there's, like I say, there's certain players that get maybe far too easy. I've run out of times, like Porteous was getting cheered because he was running back for set pieces to get the ball for the goalie when the ball was getting lumped back and that. And it's good to see that somebody's putting that amount of effort and driving to go and get the ball and get things going again. But they also need to be held accountable when they make mistakes. And for the first goal, he made a mistake. And the second, the chance that was even easier, Brian Graham just splits him and Hanlon and gets in. And
I think, players getting, an easier ride. I think there was... So I've seen somebody sort of saying something about Stevenson, both goals, the crosses get past them too easy, and then some Hibs fan replied sort of saying, but fullbacks are going to get crosses by them. If that had been Naismith or James, I think there would have been a lot of criticism, but because it's Louis, can't speak bad about Louis, it's Louis.
I think we need Graham McGregor back ASAP.
Yeah. But then is that, yes, okay,
and not in the dugout like I've seen some folk.
You're saying about leadership and stuff like that, but then is that maybe going back to the whole thing of this Scottish Cup defence and or not looking past it and not moving forward?
No, because I think you could take Stevenson and Hanlon out for me. I think Graham McGregor give, regardless of the cup win, they give a confidence. What was it? Did we not do it at the start? What was the stats when David Gray played last season? We lost one game.
played like 17 or something and we won.
And we lost one.
We lost one. Or
Without
something.
him, we're horrific.
Aye.
So I think take the cup nostalgia out of it. He's a great player for us and a great leader on the park for us as well. And we really miss him when he's out. And it's the same with Darren McGregor as well.
Final couple of questions. 2 people had asked about Canberra's performance, and somebody sort of specifically asking Canberra or Doidge. So if they're both fit for Wednesday, I don't know what Doidge's situation is. Who do you play at this moment in time?
I'm Canberra.
You said Shaw, but
Sure.
I'm Canberra.
okay, so let's finish off with some fun stuff. Christ, I'm having a mare tonight. The thing is, like, people will go, Gav, you've not been that bad. I've had to stop and start recording like 4 times, loads of stuff. Anyway, this working Monday to Friday 9 till 5 thing's ruining me. I don't know how folk do it. You know, you get to Sunday and it's so depressing. You're like, I've got 5 days in a row, just like, I miss my days off during the week.
That's because you were a student for a very big part of your life.
Right,
What age are you? 29?
Aye.
29, and this is you just entering the real world.
Oh, I've done full-time work loads of times. Plus, when I was doing, and I'm going to stand up myself.
Triggered.
I was doing
You're pointing at me.
5 days, I know, 5 days a week at placement and then 2 days at part-time work. So I was actually working 7 days a week at one point. So fuck you.
He's doing it with a smile on his face as well, which means he's even angrier.
Yes. That's
If
cynical.
this was if we were doing questions each, Craig would be getting easier questions after that. But we'll do say your name. We'll no bother with the things this week.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I know you're disappointed you want to do your buzzers, but just say your name, and if you know the answer, we'll do 10 questions. So,
Oh wait, so are we going one each or are we going...
say your name, because otherwise, I think
You will beat me 10-0 here because he's like
Rain Man.
Aye, but it's annoying because I probably would know it if I took my time. But
so. First question: guess who've got McCabe? This cult Hibs player played over 200 games and was famously sent off for a late tackle on Gordon Strachan during Gordon Ray's testimonial match.
don't have a clue.
Gordon Hunter?
Nope,
Don't know.
it's Joe Tartolano.
Oh,
Fair play.
Name the former Hibs hero that for many years owned the right wing back pub in at Willow Brae.
meh. Gordon Smith.
That's Gordon Smith.
It's opposite the Tesco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not from Edinburgh, so I don't think that's fair.
Tesco garage.
I don't
Tesco
know.
garage at
I don't
Willoughby
know
Road.
Edinburgh pubs.
Oh, sorry. Right.
Right,
No,
tell
I
me
don't know
the
Edinburgh
barman at Armadale Bowling Club. I know that one.
The bowling club. Is that what your non-Hibs branded
His name's
bowls?
Derek.
Is that what your non-Hibs branded bowls, aye?
Knob. These are unfair questions. That's not a Hibs question. Who owns a bar in Edinburgh?
From which club
Owned.
did Hibs sign Stephen Whittaker in 2017?
Norwich.
He didn't say his name.
Oh, but mate, still I'm making...
Aye. Well, going forward, say your name.
Right,
but yeah,
okay.
2-0 Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who I've got in my cab? The former Wraith Rovers striker scored 50 goals for Hibs.
Craig, Stevie Crawford.
No. Dundee and Hibs in 80s and 90s. In 1982, he won his only cap for Scotland.
Oh, that's...
Say it again, because he interrupted
Striker scored more than 50 goals.
for
And-
Hibs.
Aye. In the 80s and 90s, and in 92 won his cap for Scotland.
I don't think I know this.
Played for Wraith Rovers, Dundee and Hibs.
Do you know this?
Aye.
Is it easy?
Aye.
Like, you've run out of time.
I don't know.
Keith Wright.
Aye. Still 2-0.
Keep. How many questions we had?
I don't know. We'll just do first to 10.
I'm not very good at this.
Guess who I have in my cab? Signed a short-term contract in March 2016 after being released by Leicester City.
Craig. Conrad Logan.
Correct. 3-0.
See, I knew that as well, but I just didn't say it quick enough.
When Hibs played in the Dryborough Cup, a change to which football rule was experimented for the first time in the competition?
Dave, the goalkeeper could put the ball up.
Nope.
I changed to what rule? No offside.
Nah, I'm not going to give that. It was the offside rule was changed.
Haha. And I know goalkeepers can pick the ball up. I meant for a back pass,
Yeah.
just in case anybody's getting wide.
Which player on loan from Celtic took 2 corners in the Scottish Cup final? That's quite
Dave. Liam Henderson. Gary's off! Did you give me that one?
Oh.
Liar.
If Hibernian supporters were in the Broom loan stand, who would
Craig.
be our opposition?
Rangers.
Correct, 3-1. Which
Yeah.
English team did Hibs face in their third round of the Intercities Fair Cup in 1967?
In the third round?
Mhm.
I know who they had in the first and the second.
Wait, what was it? The Intercity Fairs Cup in 1967.
It's an English team.
I'll say Leeds.
Correct.
Hibs lost that. Apparently, Hibs lost that night as well. Apparently, a funny story for that. I remember reading it somewhere that the Leeds players actually
Fucking
had money.
hilarious.
Leeds players actually had money on Hibs to win.
Aye, match fixing back then.
Billy Brown, there, Rain Man.
Cheers, Craig.
Which Hibs player won the Young Player of the Year award and the Scottish Football Writers Player of the Year award in 2013?
Craig. Lee Griffiths.
Correct. I'm not going to say the scoreline because I'll say it after somebody gets another one right. Who is the manager when Hibs played in the UEFA Cup in 89-90?
Craig.
Dave.
I'll let him have it.
Alec Miller.
Correct.
No,
5-2.
he can have it.
No,
you
it's
can
I
have
didn't
it.
say my name quick enough.
doesn't matter.
No,
So it's
it's like
5-2.
a
You're right.
process
Dave, you're
the
not going to
question.
win anyway. Just take the point.
A process
Eh,
in my head.
Which 2 teams did Hibs have to play replays against on the way to lift in the Scottish Cup in
Craig.
2016?
Hearts and Cali Thistle.
Correct. 6-2.
We'll just leave it there.
No, I've got a couple more to get
alright,
to.
a couple more, okay.
Which Scottish winger joined Hibs on a permanent basis after spending this previous season on loan in 2014-2015? Coming from Dundee.
Dave. Martin Boyle.
I didn't know what to say that because I gave it away.
I was
Eh,
staring at the
that's-
carpet for
that's-
ages going.
I'm trying to give him a chance.
Which team did Hibs defeat 2-1 at Tynecastle on the way to the League Cup final?
Craig.
Dave. Oh. When you go, St Johnson.
Oh, there you go. He's just answered it for me.
Did you know it?
Nice. St. John.
Yeah.
David Murphy.
And that's a set of questions. So,
No,
Oh, well
that
done.
was the.
Well done, Craig.
Do you know what? I'm not even thinking about the. I'm thinking about the one.
but you're
Years
right though,
ago.
it was St Johnstone as well.
But I thought about the one where Benji scored.
2007.
Aye.
Like that.
St Johnson, I was there with my mate.
John McGinn. Almost ended up on the pitch when he scored that.
So how are you going to get better at quizzes to come back against them? Cause
I think about it too long. I like the words process in my head, and then I say the question in my head again, and then I say what I think.
But you're one of the reasons that we don't do questions each, because I answer the question, you go,
I know, I like to think.
and
Right,
it's no
anyway.
good listening.
Right,
So,
okay, right, well, sorry.
If anybody wants to come on and challenge me, you know where I am.
Right, let's finish up with room 1902. So who would like to go first this week? So I just, while you are quickly thinking who wants to go first, if you haven't heard this before, room 1902 is where we, basically room 101, where we take things we don't like about Scottish football or to do with Hibs, and we put it in room 1902. Room 1902 because that's where the Scottish Cup hoodoo went. So we've chucked that in there, and we've chucked in Seagulls, we've chucked in Hibs throw-ins, we've chucked in Sports Scene because it was rubbish, other things as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So that's the only thing I can remember we've chucked in. So what are you going for this week? Dave, start with yourself.
So I've actually got this off the back of something that I seen on the terrace, and I like a view for the terrace, and I completely agree. English pundits talking about Scottish football, it winds me up, and I completely agree with the guys on that. Like, as soon as they're saying it's the most generic pish, they didn't have a clue what they're talking about, and it's just basically just to get tore into the standard of Scottish football. And Ken, who was a big champion for that this week, even since that programme, Chris Sutton. See when Leicester beat,
He's always
Southampton.
talking up Scottish football though, and talking.
but he was arguing, he was like, because folk were like, Brendan Rodgers just like just shows you what he can do and all that, like, and then he's so much better away for Celtic, and then Chris Sutton was like, well, he might even get European football next year like Celtic, just wee things like that. And then he was saying, oh my god, what a pub league in that at the Score, because that's what English fans do when like Celtic or Rangers hammer somebody.
And that's with teams like Leicester and Southampton are much closer in monetary terms than what we are to Celtic or Rangers.
Oh, without a doubt. And I just think English view on Scottish football, but it's mainly the pundits because they didn't have a clue what they're talking about.
Talksport's the worst.
Yeah, Adrian Durham, bell end.
The thing about Adrian Durham though, he
knows he's doing it.
He does it on purpose to
but
wind folk up.
I honestly
do
think he's clueless about Scottish football. He won't know. He wouldn't be able to tell you who a Hibs striker.
Yes, him and Darren Gough, the cricketer, sitting talking about Scottish football. Like,
I know that, and I realise. I mean, I always kind of had an idea, but I figured out him when I remember when the 2016 the European Championships, Wales got to the semi-final, and he listed through the entire Wales squad and how like 3/4 of them were English and stuff. And I'm like, oh, he's just putting out that bait, waiting for folk to phone in.
And he was arguing a few weeks ago as well, is that why should I pronounce Coutinho's name Coutinho? Why can I not just pronounce it Coutinho? Like, it's not his, like, pronounce his fucking name properly. Like, show the guy some respect and pronounce it in the way that it's meant to be pronounced.
It's not Terry Henry, it's Thierry Henry.
Aye, exactly. But he would be, Henry. Like, fuck, Merson, he's another one. Prick.
I cannot wait till the arse falls out English football. I can't
You're
wait.
predicting that?
The arse will fall out. There's too much money in it. Of course it will.
And that money will eventually go, you think?
Yeah, you've seen it happening. As soon as teams get relegated and they can't get back up, that's them. They're nicky some of the clubs.
So you're going for
English pundits
talking about Scottish football?
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. It's a good one. That's good. So Craig, what's
I'm happy to go along with that, to be fair.
You have to go with something though.
That's something that boils my piss extremely. And I've got nothing.
If it's riled him that much that he's now just agreeing with that, then for play.
2 weeks in a row he's give up though.
It's that, well, no, there's minding. Football pundits unable to pronounce players' names correctly. Paul Merson, as I said before, prick, being one of them. There's a clips on him trying to say about Julian Speroni. It's not that hard. It's Peroni with an S.
What was he saying?
Soproni or Soprana. The Soccer Saturday crew, Thompson, Letitia, Merson, Charlie Nicholas, just all old.
I know a lot of folk are like that, but I can't stand it.
I like watching it at times, but when you see some of their patter, and it's like I say, any foreign player with a difficult to pronounce surname, Merson has a complete meltdown, and the rest of them sitting pissing themselves laughing like, haha, there's another thing that he can't say, and it's like, it's no funny. Like, this guy is paid to give opinions on games. I'm watching Soccer Saturday, so I ken what's happening in a game. How am I going to ken what's happening if this muppet can't pronounce half the players' names properly? So I
think that's one thing that BT Sport have got up on that, because I think theirs is better. They have a much more varied guest. They have, football managers, managers that aren't in jobs. They have ex-players. They have female players. They have younger pundits, older pundits. It's a good balance. Whereas
they've definitely
and it's constantly rotating as well. So you're constantly getting different opinions. Whereas that's just 4 old men who have old opinions, or 5 old men if you include Jeff. So yeah, finishing up then. I mean, Craig, you kind of admitted defeat before you'd even started there. I think Dave, you won it this week.
Yep.
It's infuriating, the English pundits talking about Scottish football and they know nothing about it.
Jamie Redknapp talking about Andy Robertson a few weeks ago, saying that he's shite for Scotland because he's not got the same quality around him as well.
Aye, that was the example that they used in the terrace,
Imagine that. Imagine player playing with inferior players, meaning he's not at the standard he is when he's playing with superior players. I, for one, am absolutely shocked at that.
Just quickly on that, do you think we should look at Tierney at left back and play Andrews Robertson as left winger? Just quickly.
No.
Yes or no?
No. Robertson's a good left back.
Right.
He's one of the best left backs in the world. Play him left back.
Kieran Tierney though.
Don't play Kieran Tierney.
Nah, I don't know. Well, we could get in a debate about that in a long time, but we're not a Scottish football podcast. We'll leave that for them. Well, yeah. So, Dave, your thing goes into. You didn't win the quiz, but at least your thing goes into room 1902 this week.
Good.
Well, thanks for listening, folks. We'll definitely be back next Monday for another podcast, but we might try and squeeze in, I'm not making any promises, but we might try and squeeze in a bonus one looking ahead to the Celtic game, but we'll see what kind of people's schedules are like before we make any promises, but definitely back next Monday. Thanks for listening. Make sure you follow us or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on social media if you'd like. That's at HFC Talk. So thanks for listening, folks, and we'll be back next week.